1990, the summer. So we've been through some misadventures. I mentioned revolution, big hero, small, no monument, really. They should. But before that, they should make one big one for Andrei Finzi. I mentioned that before. The miners working for journalists, that's in previous episodes. Charity work in Mauritania, fuck up, really. The car arrives, an Audi, total, I mean, a disaster, but then I'm cheated. This guy asked for some money as a loan and then says, no, I found this splendid car and I thought I must take it for you. In fact, they probably took some money to get the car out because it was smashed and he was making it in a mechanic. Previous episode, it was a bit quite hard to get it. Then it was stolen again from the shop. So there we are. Nearly burnt with an hot iron in a girl's dormitory and Moxa. They were thinking I'm a spy because of my silly talking questions and attitude. Perverse looking and perversely corrupt, rotten to the core. If you ask the spouse, if she comes, we just say cut and make another movie. Continuation tomorrow, inshallah. So there was that. And then we went to the Black Sea, to Kostinec for some relaxation after all these tumultuous spring, winter, and some other fuck up I mentioned in the previous episode. Went to Mamaya. I decided to take this girl to the beach, near the beach, in some vegetation there. We had some sex and then this guy pounds the car, smashes the windshield. I don't think he did something to the side windows though. There were, or one at least was smashed near the student park here because they wanted to get the stereo. In those days, you could take them out sometimes, or even if you couldn't take them out, they would just smash the window to see what they could break into the car to get. I had no alarm. I don't know if they were invented. There was no alarm with the car. And for the side window, I just had the plastic until I found it. When we went to Germany for various things to bring to television, we also stopped at the car cemetery to try and get some spare parts for the car, which was spending a lot of time in the mechanic shop. That's a regular clients. Friendly with one of the mechanics it was on Magero, right across the street from the Lido. They had a big thing in the mechanics, specialized somehow in all the money going into. But it was also, I mentioned, a place for sex, a thing, super advantage with girls when you take a ride. Later on, it was a step up was taken when I was going with Zany, the tycoon of these days in this reel of ours. He has, what, 5? I think he has 7 episodes I dedicated to him, a mini-series. He's a tycoon, what the hell? He deserves our small Bezos. Crazy Musk, Elon Musk. So, car in a bad shape, well, the windshield. We drove to Kostinec and we had to go back to the police station for paperwork, for what for? I don't know, but I remember we had to use the car now as Arabs. We took sheets from the beds from the mini hotel where we were and wrapped us around in them because we were thinking, okay, so if the windshield, which was smashed, we is going to fall and pieces will, at least we have some protection. And it was, that's the reason why I'm telling you this, because I think maybe it's a little bit funny. Although it was also dangerous, I guess. We had to, I was the driver. I look for a small clear space to look ahead and find where we're going. No, there was surely some visibility there left, but we had an insult added to injury in Costinec, because we parked the car under a light in a place where it wasn't allowed. There was no parking sign or something. But it wasn't like we parked in front of the fire station and so you couldn't have the truck going out. No, it was just a street and it was just no parking sign. I would even go as far as to say stupid anyway, under any circumstances. But in our case, I thought that was stupid, mean, cruel, idiotic. When the next morning we went to the car with a smashed windshield, and we placed it where we did, as I said, in a place where supposedly people could see it, because we thought a thief would take advantage. He saw that he would see the car as windshield, so he would think, okay, I'll just push it down and then go inside and do more damage, take whatever. We didn't leave things in the car, but you see what I mean. We would have the windshield gone for good if we didn't take some precaution. But then we had to take a lot of work because they put signs. They had this brilliant idea. For those who park in illegal places, they had stickers which they would place. Hard, very, very hard to get out on a normal window. And it was meant like that. Okay, so you parked in a place we don't want you to park. Now you have a lot of work on your hands to try and take these stickers out. And it was so cruel on that windshield. So the windshield was in the state it was, and they made it even more of a pain, really, of a calamity, by putting stickers on it. The local police, I don't know who, but fuck them. I mean, I hope they rot in hell. So, and from Costinec to Mamaia, to the police station and back. And then we went back to Bucharest, and I took Socrate to Buzău. In Buzău, that's 60 kilometers north from here, or what, 80? I don't know. Northeast. They were making all sorts of glass for cars. For the Dacia car, that was it then. But somehow we went there and we talked with the people. Socrates in particular, he was a businessman. He was making connections and finding deals and getting ideas and so on. Let's hope he has some of that flair still with him in this crisis. And we had a custom made, a different size and an angle for the car, and spent 2 days there to get the windshield. And on the way back, I remember I met this girl on the street in a cafe, it doesn't matter. And not learning anything from my experience, I went near the forest with her, out of the city with a car, and we had sex. And nothing happened, but I mean, it was, in a way, it sounds like, and it was probably reckless after having that experience of risking it again, and then again and again, because that was a recurrent thing. It was, I mean, outdoors, it was very, very often. The Băneasa Forest here is the place where it happened, I don't know, 100 times. The student park was a thing. I mean, there were the beach. It wasn't really a beach. People lying in the sun in the student park, which is part of a exclusive, what's the name of it? Pescariu. It's a Pescariu tennis player. Club. But back then it was many students. I don't know, most of them, many of them. And there's a lake, Floreasca, in fact, a chain of lakes. And people lie in the sun. On one side, where it's more isolated, it was a small beach for nudists. There weren't hundreds, 20, 30. And once in a while, we'll swim across the lake, which is not a huge lake, completely, to go and see them. I mean, then the women. And then it was, can we talk? No, putem să vorbim? No. And 9 out of 10. There were no's. 1 out of 10. Maybe 1 out of 20. I don't know. Depending on the day also, of course. I'd say yes. And then again, 1 out of 10 would go for more. And quite a few times it happened in the locker rooms. They had locker rooms in the open air. You could see the feet of the people in some of them, but not all of them. And you could have intimacy, sexual intimacy there at times. Yeah.